or somewhere. But we're about to get yelled at.
You guys got hot mics this time, by the way. Surprise.
Hey. Catching our content. We usually talk about little people. Little Tykes. Helicoptering in there.
Okay, you guys. I've dubbed this show the official Justin Thomas Michael Barrows Apology Tour, Part 1.
You know, that's funny because I spent 15 minutes or so before this trying to scan through last week's to see what we said about JT.
All of us, to be fair.
Really find it.
I was right there with you, man.
I feel like we didn't even cover him as being an option. We
didn't
talk about him as top dogs.
I
we
did.
Didn't talk about him in value. Like,
you only have to go back and look at that.
I tried to find it. I couldn't find the content, but like I was doing a quick skim. But I probably sometime last week, or I know I have previously talked about how overrated he's been. We must have talked about it because this is coming back to me. How it's like, I call him overrated. He goes and wins the PGA Championship.
The Players last year. I think you said it like 2 weeks before, literally.
Yeah.
And then we've all been saying it. But to be fair to everybody, who in their right mind thought Justin Thomas on Sunday morning was going to win the Players Championship?
You know what? I
he
don't think
even admitted he didn't know.
I think the odds for probabilities or whatnot that they calculate based off, historical and shots data and all of that had him at like 1.5% chance of winning. And man, did he defy the odds or what? Part of it was him going out, playing steady. The other part was obviously some of the young guns and unprovens coming back a great bit to him. But, we've always talked about it. Did he go out and win or did the other guys go out and lose? And
I'm glad you bring that up.
He went out and won. He went out and won. It's easy to argue it the other way, but he was hitting the shots when they mattered, and that's what winners do. So big win for JT, getting his second PGA Championship. I'll formally apologize to you, Justin. Lo siento.
Love you, JT. I'm so excited that Mike had to do that. Before, I think it was Saturday, I was with some family. We were talking about where we put our money and who we think was going to win. And I laid it out. I said, this isn't a place where someone's going to run away and hide, but it very well could be a place where someone is around par, maybe a couple under par, and it's going to take someone to come back to the field. And lo and behold, I think I was right. Pretty unfortunate how this played out, but it depends how you look at it, right? If you don't play well enough, it doesn't matter how poorly the guys ahead of you do. You're not putting yourself in position. He went out, he shot a low number. And I think what really makes the victory a little bit sweeter for me, makes it feel like he earned a little bit more, is I'm glad there was a playoff. I'm glad it wasn't just we got to watch Mito crumble at the end.
And Zalatoris misses his par putt too. Yeah.
Right. And then that's it. Then it's like, okay, well, bring him out of the locker room, JT. Let's give you the trophy. I'm glad he had to go on earn it. Yeah.
And doing it birdie, which by the way was excellent stretch of 3 playoff holes. You couldn't ask for any more from how they put that together for the PGA.
Yeah, that was cool.
And one other thing, just to chime in one last time on why JT went out and won. It's easy to lose sight of this because he did play so bad Saturday. But his rounds Thursday and Friday were spectacular. He was in the harder of the draws, and he went out, back-to-back 3-unders, I think he did, to be in position. So yeah, he might have faded pretty hard on Saturday, and that's when folks may have counted him out. But it's what he did Thursday and Friday that ultimately made it possible for him to still be in contention and have a chance to claw back into it with the guys coming back to him. So all around.
Well, here's the thing, okay? You're talking all about Saturday, right? He did on Saturday what he did every single weekend where people started to doubt him. Gets in contention, and then something happens on the weekend and he falls apart and you don't know what happens. On Saturday when he did the exact same thing, we said, okay, same old JT happening over and over again. And Mike, you brought up that, was it luck or was it skill? I think it's an excellent point to bring up. 95% of people who win on the PGA Tour, you bet there's a bunch of luck involved. When Jordan Spieth wins by 12, or even Scotty Scheffler at the Masters last month probably didn't need much luck. Anytime anybody wins a close tournament, you need the luck. That's just the way it goes. There are so many great players in the world out there that Justin Thomas needed the luck, just like any other winner needed the luck. And he said afterwards, I get emotional when I win this because it's so hard to win out here. And the difference between number 1 in the world and number 200 in the world is so small. It's ridiculous how minuscule the difference is on these guys. It's those little breaks that they get. So yeah, JT got super lucky. Yeah, Mito probably shouldn't have crumbled, but that's what happens when guys win tournaments. JT was clutch over and over and over again, and that is the main reason why he won. I think all these winners get great luck all the time, so it's very unfair for any of us to say, oh, JT got lucky, Mito should never have been in that situation. Well, look at almost every other winner we've seen on the PGA Tour. You'll find the exact same thing.
Interesting take, Chris. I didn't know where you were going with this, man. I didn't know if you were talking luck as in like the Brees bounce luck where he got like a really fortunate bounce.
All of it. Because you don't see half of those.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't realize
that it does take, right?
You don't realize half the bounces these guys get on TV.
Bounces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, even on the playoff hole, I mean, he and Bones were set up on 17 to replicate what he did just 2 holes ago in regulation, where he was just going to just bury it in the bunker, right? Hit a little cut, and if it overcuts, we're on the green. Lo and behold, he's putting for eagle. So
Zalatoris should have went in the water on 18. By the way, he got
not
lucky.
To interrupt, but while you're talking about 17 in the playoffs, can I just say that that's the ultimate flex by JT by having the putter in his hand before Zalatoris?
Yeah, he is the best 3-wood player in the game. And I think everybody knew. I know everybody knew awesome. He was going to sniff that.
I think he smiled when he saw that he had Zalatoris. I don't know, for some reason I feel like he just has Zalatoris' number, but I mean, it's not like I have anything to back that. I feel like once we saw who it was Happy Gilmore's caddy against the Alabama Crimson JTs. I knew that Alabama was going to come out on top.
I think anyone's really at this point licking their chops against Zalatoris in a playoff, just because over 3 holes, I mean, like you can make up for bad putting by great iron shots over the course of 72 holes, but that tragic flaw is a little harder to hide with the pressure on the line over an aggregate playoff like that. So I think anyone's probably licking their chops over Willie Z's putting, but hopefully that continues to improve him. Statistically, it actually wasn't that bad this week.
A lot better than it typically is. You're absolutely right. And Zalatoris is skyrocketing up those world rankings. I think he's in the top 15 now. And with JT's victory, you guys got to realize this. We now have 7 of the top 13 players in the world have now won in 2022 an individual event. I'm not counting the Zurich. I'm sorry, Cantlay and Schauffele.
Don't count it.
I'm not counting it. Okay, so here's the question of the night. Who is the next? I said 7 of 13. Here are the other 6. Which one of these 6 is the next to get their first win in 2022?
Let me go first here, Mike.
Tough.
So let me go here. So I will give kudos to this podcast because I was watching a little, whatever it's called, Golf Channel Live, and they were talking about how the top players in the world just haven't shown up, and when are they going to show up, and what's going on. We've been calling it since the beginning of the season, and this is it right here. I'm going to go ahead and place my chips on the very first square there to the top left. Our boy Colin Morikawa, I think this is actually his weekend that he gets it done.
Wow. Bouncing back strong. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Mostly because, Chris, I'm going after history.
Yeah.
He's played here, and he's got, I think last year was 14th, and the year before that, with his debut, he finished 2nd. So he plays pretty strongly here, and it's you got to be able to hit your irons well. So
Mike,
I'm going on.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Mike, you got him too?
No, I was just gonna. I don't. It's not that I have him. I was just gonna make a comment on his black Adidas, trying to get a feel for what you guys think of those things. Like sometimes I think, oh, they're kind of cool, they're sporty, and other times I think, man, those are the dorkiest shoes I've ever seen. So maybe a topic for another day where you guys are feeling Morikawa shoes. But I'm typically one to make a hot take, or so I've been told. But looking at these 6 guys, like
you're not going DJ. You're not going Schauffele.
He's going Rory.
Yeah,
I'm not going Cantlay. Like, and
going Rory.
I'm apt to go Hovland. Probably in a weaker field event. I think Hovland will be the next one to win off this list. But I think next one of this list to get a major, I think it's Rory. I know that's not the question, but Rory's knocking on the door.
I don't agree with that one either. You think Rory or Hovland for next win?
Hovland for next win, Rory for next major out of this group.
Let me say this. Colin Morikawa, Tyler, right?
Yep.
In the past, I think at least 2 times, I've gone back and thought, well, Colin Morikawa's got something missing. I don't know what it is right now. I don't see him winning anytime soon. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he wins a major, and he plays lights out half the year after that. I am ready to say the exact same thing about Colin Morikawa this year, but I'm stopping myself now because I'm realizing what I said in the past. And then all of a sudden, here's Colin Morikawa, and he's back to that champion everybody knew he could be. I think it is right there, and I think he's got that Rahm syndrome where he's really not playing as bad as we think he is. 5th at the Masters, 2nd at the Genesis, okay? And when he plays bad at the PGA and he plays bad at the Players, that's what everyone's looking at. Oh, Colin Morikawa, he's got a long way to go. I think it would be shame on us to say Colin Morikawa has a lot to work on for his game right now to get back in the winner's circle. I would say he's my number 1. However, something's still drawing me to Patrick Cantlay winning a random event this year. And I know last week I hyped him up, and the dude looked bad. I don't know how much of him you watched, but he looked bad. But again, it's 1 week. You can't judge a guy off of 1 or 2 weeks. Hovland, I don't know. The short game just seems weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I think Hovland's going to get it done in a weaker field. Is his game is so great, but when it comes to around the green, he needs
Cantlay or Morikawa for me. Here's the biggest question I have out of all of this: how in the world is Xander Schauffele ranked number 11 in the world still?
I'm serious. It's because he won the Zurich.
Probably. Were the Olympics worth anything? I don't know. Maybe
I don't think so.
Yeah, there were some OWGR points there for the Olympics. I think pretty heavy there. But dude, he's like a perennial 5th to 15th place and just snakes around. But he never threatens to win.
And that's the thing. Do you realize that we talk about all these stars and we're like, oh, they don't have it. What's wrong with them? Xander Schauffele's not one of those guys who's won recently. Why should we expect him to win? We're putting him in this JT and Rahm and DJ and Brooks and Rory category. What has he done in the last 3 years?
Well, I mean, let's be real here. If we're talking about upper echelon golfers and you look at these names he's alongside here, right? Like Hovland doesn't have a major, but he's got lots of victories. Morikawa, a couple majors. Rory, none recently. Cantlay was so huge last year. Schauffele, like off the top of my head, like if you don't count the Zurich, I don't even know what his PGA win count is. I think it's like 2 or 3.
Let me look it up. He's won a handle. They were all a while ago though. Let me look it up.
Right, but they were such oddball events, right? The Tour Championship, which is 30 people in it. Like, yeah, it's a great field, but if you're playing,
I know what you're saying.
Like, like none of his wins are like, yeah, Schauffele is gonna be dominant. Schauffele can win out here. It's just kind of like I'm just not confident in him ever really being an upper echelon player, regardless of the world ranking. Like
this year, third in Phoenix. I'm throwing away the fall events, by the way.
Okay, and maybe it's just because he's ultra boring to me that like I like poo-poo on everything he accomplishes, right? Like maybe that's totally possible because I do have that type of bias within me. I'm not gonna lie.
Couple of seconds last year. 3rd at the Masters, 7th at the U.S. Open. He won the Olympics.
Right, but that's what he does, and a lot of those are like backdooring his way into them. Like it's never like, oh, Schauffele's in this, he could get it done. Like I've never felt that way.
COVID year.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, but He definitely contended. I mean, you look at, he was 5th in the FedEx Cup last year. He had 3 seconds. He won $5.25 million.
That's to Mike's point though. Is he backdooring his way to these seconds, or oh man, Xander Schauffele should have won that? How did he not win that? I can't think of one of those examples.
Well, so
he won the Tournament of Champions in 2019. Again, I don't count that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, limited field, right? Like, so that's 2 of his wins that are limited field.
Second at the Masters that year. Like, third at the U.S. Like, he's done well at the U.S. Open, obviously. He's done well at majors. Second at the Tour Championship.
He's done great at majors, but
he's a U.S. Open guy. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
28.
I'm just trying to see what his 5 victories.
Where has he won? Did I skip 2019? He won the HSBC Championship, and he won the Century Tournament Championship.
Century Tournament Champion.
He won 2 that year.
There it is. Yeah, that carried over.
Didn't win in 18.
Mike, I see your point. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's what the media does. I mean, they find someone who's hot and they just put him in your face constantly. So you're like, he's the next big thing. He's going to do it. But
Greenbrier 2017 he won.
A little boring.
That's the funny thing about Xander is, like, they've tried to force feed me Xander for 5 years. He's just the most boring creature on the PGA Tour outside of maybe Patrick Cantlay. But at least Cantlay, you feel like he can win. Like, Xander is just like, dude, have fun, like, finishing 5th place, right? It's gonna, like, I'm confident he'll finish top 5 pretty much every major, but yeah, I don't think he'll ever win. And you know what? I'm not going to knock that, right? I would gladly take a top 5 to top 10 finish like every other major. Like, that's tremendous golf. But in reference to this question of who's going to get the next win,
it's not the guy. It's not the guy in the bottom center. We'll stop the Xander Schauffele brigade of bashing tonight. You guys, it's Jordan Spieth. Okay, I don't care about his future, his past here. You know I love past. I don't care about it. Just to me, all I need to tell you here is this. This is Jordan Spieth in a nutshell. Everybody says Masters and PGA, he's got it. He's trending right. He's doing all these great things. And then both of those, what did he do? Awful. Couldn't make a putt outside 4 feet to save his life in either tournament. And then what's he do right after that? After the Masters? Played really well again. And you're like, oh, there's Jordan Spieth. This is quintessential Jordan Spieth happening this weekend in Texas. The fact that it's his home, he's got a bunch of runner-ups, tons of top 15s. He won in 2016. That's all great. I'm just going sheerly from the fact that Jordan Spieth does this. This is what he does. Huge disappointment last week. Jump back this week and look completely unstoppable. That's why Jordan Spieth, anybody, I'm not saying just on this list, anybody in this field, I would not know who else to pick other than Jordan Spieth based on what he has done after disappointment and jumping back when he's been really close too. Really close. Mm-hmm. Is it fair to say it though this week? Do we need 2 months? Is it fair to say 1 week? You're right. I see what you're saying. He was. Yes, you were. I was too. Do you guys realize what we're doing right now? We're giving Scotty Scheffler the John Rahm treatment, and we're being the media that you talked about, shoving it in his face, saying this guy needs to be really good. That's why I don't agree with this weekend. The rest of the year, yeah, I think we're doing what we're talking about right now. We're saying, oh, if Scotty Scheffler doesn't look good in the next few weeks, he's not that good. He's a flash in the pan. I don't think we should do that. Correct. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying, Tyler? And guess what? Don't think for a second he didn't have a bunch of good breaks too along the way. It's just like anybody else. I'm serious. Well, I'm just realizing with Justin Thomas, everything we've been saying is just doesn't do anybody any due diligence because winners get breaks. I mean, what happened with Justin Thomas was a break, and you look back at Scotty Scheffler, he backdoored his way into a playoff that Cantlay probably had no business giving up, even playing a playoff. He was way behind. It was a Hatton and somebody else at the API. They both fell apart. He backdoored his way into that. He dominated the Masters, obviously, and did great at the match play. I'm just saying, like, you get breaks, and they all lined up for him. It doesn't mean he's a mediocre player.
Great point, Ty, is that like it is so hard to win out there. And maybe this ties in Chris's point too with the bounces too, right? But like so many fresh faces, and it's been just riveting week after week to see guys go out and pounce on it, and some guys fall back, but yet, you know, the guys kind of lingering pounce on it. I don't know where I'm going with other than like it's been like I said this probably a quarter of the way into the season, and now we're halfway through the season. It's like this has been phenomenal, just the storylines and the excitement week to week. I know some people are like, you know, don't think that these off week events outside the majors like have their place and think they're kind of boring for it. But man, I just love seeing people get gritty and going out to win, whether it's a top 10 player in the world or someone trying to win for the first time. Like I just love people going out trying to compete.
Don't get me wrong.
We've gotten a good bit of that.
I'm not saying Scotty Scheffler only won because he was lucky. I'm just saying stars align for all these crazy things to happen. I'm just saying
sure.
that has to happen.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
How do we go the entire show without talking about Mike's new HGTV?
His Renault. Your Renault looks good, Mike.
That's not where I thought you were going. I thought you were going with Ricky Fowler's resurgence in the PGA.
I wish I would have gotten the photo up of him with the animal taming gloves and his. I don't even know what the heck you want to call.
He's back.
That's called
last weekend.
Desperation to stay warm. Those conditions are tough, man. And kudos to those guys. But woo, Ricky's back. He never left.
Mike, who's your pick this week? I never got that.
Do I have to go on record of picking? I have to.
You're going with Max.
Sam Burns.
You're gonna go.
I'll say Sam Burns.
I was gonna say Max Homa.
Sam. Yeah, I was gonna go Max with them too. Yeah.
Sam Burns is doing it again.
Watch out.
Hey, you guys! By the way, I won $800 yesterday.
Great job! Unbelievable. I don't know what you did
in that second majors pool, and it just goes to show you the dumb luck. I picked JT and Zalatoris at the Masters in my other pool. Randomly picked them in this one.
Hey, there you go.
And the only reason why I won is because Fitzpatrick bogeyed 17.
First and second.
No, Fitzpatrick bogeyed 17. That's why I won. Because somebody else had both them too, and I had Cameron Young, and he had Fitzpatrick.
You are good at sports betting.
No, I'm not.
Cameron Young.
I get the breeze bounces.
We should probably talk about Cameron Young at some point because he is.
I think
he's
great.
Another guy knocking on the door.
He's coming.
Ty, he's that typical rookie you were talking about who it's going to take him a while to learn a major, and we saw exactly that on Sunday. I mean,
I got a
T.
Oh yeah, I got a little scared because I saw him creeping up the leaderboard, and I'm like, well, I'm going to eat crow if I say he's not going to win a major right away.
Oh, I was going to pick him. I had him up as my best value. I didn't even freaking pick him. I just goes to show.
Well, I think like Cam Smith is another guy that needs to learn how to play at majors.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, but I can also admire the fact that he's a fearless dude and will just attack every pin possible. Are we really wrapping up, man?
No, we don't have to wrap up. What do you want to talk about? Let's go back to these guys.
I don't know, man. Just
you want to go back to this?
No.
You want part 2 of your apology to Justin Thomas? Go ahead. The floor is yours.
JT, I'll apologize to you one more time. A true champion. Now you got 2 PGA Wanamaker's. Let's go win a real major.
Oh man, you know what? That is such a great topic. I'm serious. Not for tonight because we just got it. We got that running.
No. I will say in defense of what just happened this past weekend, that course played much akin to a U.S. Open over the weekend.
It did, but there is a reason why, Tyler. There is a reason why that's a debate because winning the PGA, it's not like winning the U.S. Open or the Masters. I think just to a little bit of a degree. However, when you look at who's won all those tournaments, a bunch of randos have won all of them. So it's not like the PGA. I mean, you think of like Rich Beam and Sean McKee. Like, why did those guys win? Well, I mean, like
Keegan Bradley,
Todd Hamilton won the British Open. I mean, Angel Cabrera won the U.S. Open and the Masters. Trevor Immelman won the Masters. I mean, you can keep going and going.
Well, the Masters is easy. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Jeff Ogilvy won. Yeah, it's easy. Jeff Ogilvy. I mean,
one thing about JT we didn't really talk about.
Here we go. Somebody's clothes.
No, his clothes are great. I love the Grayson. Big fan. Okay. Can't afford it, but
he makes me want to wear joggers on the course almost.
But I had this storyline going into the Masters, and I think it's continuing to play out to his advantage. Is bones on the back. So what do you guys think of that? You guys think that's making a difference?
Well, he's been saying it over and over again, so why wouldn't I believe him?
So
maybe that pep talk he talked about on Saturday was a big deal. You heard what he said, right?
Maybe this is the victory that really gets JT rolling, and we see him click off a few. Would you guys be surprised if he gets another this year?
No, I wouldn't. I have I don't think nobody's seen the Country Club at Brookline, so that probably helps him. Nobody saw Southern Hills much before this.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that might be something in his favor. I'm just grasping at straws, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he dominates the rest of the year. I don't think he's gonna have another Scheffler mini run, but I think he's relevant for the rest of the year. Maybe another win or two.
Yeah, I think he's a guy to watch for sure. It's kind of stupid to say that after him coming off a victory that you should watch him, right? All eyes are on him, but I think he's going to start clicking them off.
Mike,
at a rapid pace.
What's your background going to be next week?
My background next week is going to be hopefully something real. I'm trapped in my basement tonight.
You got to do your backyard. You got to go back to your backyard and show us all your wonderful landscapes.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
buddy.
Man.
My backyard right now is a disaster.
That's
zone.
What the people want to see.
I joked. I got a little Bobcat skid steer back there right now. I joked with Rebecca at dinner that I was going to do the podcast sitting in the cockpit of that bad boy. She didn't think that was very funny, so that's why I'm in the basement here.
Well, you should stop listening to her and start listening to us.
You guys aren't the ones scratching my back when it itches. So
yes, I am.
I could. You never asked me.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm glad I didn't put my 90 on the Grint yesterday. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I put my 95, 96. I don't even remember what it was.
God,
Whatever
so
it was.
What were your
bad.
nines? Did you split it? Or what were your nines?
I went 48, 42.
Ooh,
Yeah.
No,
That's
good turnaround.
Trending in the right direction.
I made 2 birdies and shot 90.
It's not
That's
bad.
awesome.
It's great.
I'm yet to have a birdie this year. I'm 35 holes in. Does that make sense? Is that a number?
You
9
played
times
2
30,
rounds. You played your 36
45
holes in.
45 holes.
35
I'm 34
you're 35
holes in
holes
without
in?
a birdie.
You played 18 and 17 because Rebecca made you come home. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I played 18. I snuck out for 9, and then Rebecca and I played 17 because we were rushing to get the girls at daycare. Like the last 3 holes were like a real scoot around of. I'm not gonna lie, this golf course had like dandelions on the putting greens. It was
That would probably help. That would probably help all of us.
even at $17. But what are you gonna do? Rebecca almost beat me, so I got that going for me.
Nice.
You're serious?
Oh, dude, she had some pokes, man. She was putting it out there.
Oh, we gotta get her
Awesome.
swing on the little track man next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, I'm signing
Absolutely.
off.
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
gonna-
This was great.
See you there, or
I'm
I'll
just
see you
gonna-
on
you guys
another
sure
time.
you don't want to keep talking golf?
Mike, go put a nice record on. Sit
Here,
back
Mike,
in
want
the
me to
chair.
find? Here's some
Probably
old
smells
ones.
like
Here's
cat
something old
pee.
for you. I'm just gonna go through some old. Oh, penalty shots.
I owe something here.
Mike, I'm
Chris,
just,
you're-
I'm just here we go. I'm just going through all these. From
That's
old.
entertaining.
Don't
All
do
right,
that.
well,
Oh, look at my
I
face. That's what I
love
was here.
Memory lane.
All right, boys. Good night.
Brad.